Welcome to Bible Study. I am Godwin Wilson, and today we'll be reading Philippians chapter 1 verse 6. Philippians chapter 1 verse 6. And I am sure of this, that he who began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Christ. As we read this verse, it's important to read the first 5 verses. So if you have not seen my previous videos, go back and see. That may help you better for a better understanding. In verse 6, the verse starts like for and I am. So who is this I? It's Apostle Paul. Paul is telling, I am sure of this. I am sure. So Paul here, he is expressing his confidence. He is sure about something that is going to take place. So natural question is, what is that, Paul? What you are so sure about? That. Then he gives the reason that he. So next question, if I is Apostle Paul, who is this he? If you go back to verse 3, there we understand who that he is. It's God. Apostle Paul thanks God for the Philippian believers, and he expresses God as the person. And now when we come to verse 6, he's going back to verse 3 and saying that he, meaning God, who began a good work. So next question, who began a good work? So what is the good work he began? So if you read the previous verse, there we understand from the time of their salvation, that was something that God started doing. Their salvation was something that God started doing. But not just that, in verse 5, Apostle Paul says, from the time you have been in partnership with the gospel, not just in salvation, but God started working through you in partnership in relation to your gospel in you, meaning you is talking about all the saints in from verse 1, all the believers in Philippians. You will bring it to completion, that you are going to fulfill something going to be perfect at the day of Christ. What? Your good work, the partnership, that's something that started from your salvation. It's not going to end, but it is going to end at the day of Jesus Christ. So this is something very, very important, something debated, something that can raise a lot of questions. So what does Paul mean by the day of Christ? I think the best way I can answer is like, when we think about the day of Christ, there are two ways that we can understand day of Jesus Christ. Normally, two ways people understand these things. One is in relation to the glorious coming of Christ. It's actually aiming to a time when Jesus Christ will be coming after the Great Tribulation. After the Great Tribulation, and the purpose of his coming to church and rule in the millennial kingdom. So some say it's about the day of Christ is a God is going to preserve these people, the saints, to do the good work which he started from their salvation. He is going to fulfill till the day of glorious coming. And I'm not I'm not a person who advocates for this. There are reasons for why I do not advocate. The second way we can understand, which is a better way of understanding, is by saying the day of Christ is talking about rapture, something that happens before the tribulation, not after the tribulation, before the tribulation of 7 years. And its purpose, it comes for church. That's why I said this is a better way of looking at it. Why? Because the day of Christ is for church, and he comes, he takes the church. So here Paul is saying, I'm sure of this, God is going to fulfill his good work in you. Who is this you? It's all the saints in Philippi, meaning the church at Philippi, the believers at Philippi, those who are saved, those who are called by God and became the saints. They will be there at the day of Christ. That aiming to the rapture is one way that we can understand. Let me put it this way. This may help you to remember in a better way. Last time, if you remember, I said that the Philippian believers experienced salvation, Acts chapter 16, and the good work started in them. And we looked at and we said they partnership with the gospel along with Apostle Paul, even when Apostle Paul was in prison, by sending money. In verse 5 we read that in their service by sending Epaphroditus, they were partnershiping with God. So this was past event, something that happened to them in Acts chapter 16 long back. Now until now in verse 5 we read this until now, that is a present time where Apostle Paul is presently, and now here he is talking about something that is future, a future event, a day of Christ, day of Jesus Christ, where he is going to come down and the rapture will take place. That he is sure that God is going to preserve his saints, nobody is going to be lost, and the work of their good work, their partnership in the gospel is going to continue till the day of Christ, that is the rapture. May God help you all. May God bless you.